Hey everyone, Jacob here. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick tutorial for the ProQuest plugin. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a basic break quest along with adding a menu item to an existing quest menu. So we're going to be going through that today. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a new quest. So we're going to type in quest create, and in this case we're going to use the ID as break. So once you enter the create command, you're going to be presented with this menu here. This menu, you'll see a bunch of blocks, each of which specifies a specific quest type. Each quest type has its own unique attributes and covers its own features and how you want to go about making a quest. These are all the internal quests which are displayed here. There are more quests available which require hooks into other plugins. So if you have some of the other supported quest types, then they will be shown here as well. So for our purposes, we're just going to create a break quest. So I'm just going to click on the block here, and another menu is going to open up. All right, so once you're presented with this menu, the first two menus are generic quest options, which you can set for any of the quests. They're all going to have these options. So I'm going to go through them quickly here so you can get an overview of what you can set for each quest. So the first item here we have is the duration. So this is basically how long a player would have to complete the quest once they've started it. Next, we have the repeat delay. This is the amount of time after someone has completed a quest before they can repeat it. This goes in hand with the repeatable toggle, which we'll get to in just a little bit. Next is complete balances. So when a player is trying to complete a quest, if you specify complete balance, then they have to have X amount of that balance to actually complete the quest. There are many different balance types available in the plugin, all of which can be found in the documentation. There'll be a link in the description below for all the documentation. So next is complete cost, similar to complete balance. Basically, it's a balance, except once the player attempts to complete it, it will take that amount from the player. Next, we complete permissions. These are permissions which a player must have in order to complete the quest. Then there are required quests. These are quests which the player must have already completed before they can start this one. These will be the identifiers of the quest. Next, we have the blacklisted quests. These are the quests in which the player cannot have active when they're trying to start this quest. So if they have any of these quests active, then they will not be able to start it. Moving on, we have the allowed worlds. These are all the worlds where progress will be tracked towards the quest. Blacklisted worlds where progress will not be tracked towards the quest. Allowed regions where regions for world guard regions which will have progress tracked. Blacklisted regions which are regions where the progress won't be tracked. We have start balances, similar to the complete balances. However, this is a balance player must have before they can even start the quest. Start costs as well, similar to start balances and complete costs. It's the cost that will actually be taken from the player before they start the quest. Also, we have in hand. This allows you to specify a specific item that the player must be holding when making progress toward the quest. If you want them to have to break things with a specific item, then you can do that. Additionally, we have auto start. This is whether or not to automatically start the quest for the player. They must also have the auto start permission along with this toggle being enabled. So repeatable, as we mentioned earlier with the repeat delay, this is whether or not once a player completes a quest, if they can do it again after a certain delay. Cancelable, pretty self-explanatory whether or not they can cancel the quest. Disabled, this is whether or not players can start the quest, which allows you to edit and administer the quest without having players running them at the same time. And then command start, this is whether or not players can execute the quest start ID command. And then also cancel after timer, this is if they run out of time, whether or not to specify whether or not to run the cancel actions or to run the complete actions. All right, so moving on, we'll go on to the next page here. So most of the options on this page are team specific. However, we also have all of the actions as well listed here. So the first thing you'll see here is a team type. This basically allows you to specify like groups, tournaments, if you want it to be like a team from another plugin. There are a few different team types which are listed in documentation. Start NPC, this is an NPC in which must be visited in order to start this quest. And similar to the start NPC, the end NPC is an NPC that must be visited to complete the quest. All right, so moving on here, next we have the actions. Actions are run once an event takes place, such as invite, a complete, a cancel, etc. So invite actions are executed if the player is invited to a quest. So you can specify messages, you can specify commands, titles, action bars. The list goes on. There's an extensive list of tasks that you can actually use on our website. So moving on, we have the kick actions, which are executed once the player is kicked from a quest if you have a team quest. Then we have the start actions. These are all the actions which are executed once a player starts a quest. And then we have the progress actions, which are executed if a player requests a project using the quest progress command, or if it's invoked another way. And then we also have the return actions. This is for if you have an NPC, which is actions which will run once you return. Cancel actions, which if the player doesn't complete the quest or they cancel it, these are the actions which we run. And then the complete actions, which are how you reward the player once they've completed the quest. All right, so moving on, we have a few more toggles here. So we have an editable toggle. So if you create a quest in-game, it will be assigned to your UUID. If this is true, then other admins will be able to edit this quest. If it's false, then only you'll be able to edit this quest in-game. Command join, this is whether or not players can join a quest, like a team quest, via command. Join active, this is whether or not a player can join an active quest, a team quest. Require invite, this is whether or not someone has to invite someone to a quest if it's a team-based quest. And then check all, this is whether or not to check every single player in a team quest once they join, or if we're just checking the host for the conditions provided previously. All right, so now that we have went over all of these generic quest options, we're gonna go back and start setting them. So for duration, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on it, and as you can see, it's gonna prompt you to enter the time in seconds for how long you want to complete it. So in our case, we're just gonna do 20 seconds here, and you'll see it updates in the menu. We're gonna have a repeat delay of 20 seconds as well. So now we have a duration and a repeat delay of 20 seconds. We're gonna leave the rest of these options here unset. So if anything's unset, it just won't be applied. We're gonna toggle repeatable to true though. So once a player completes this quest, they'll be able to repeat it after the repeat delay has completed. All right, so moving on to the next page, because we don't want to change anything else here as well. We're going to leave the team type. We're going to leave this. We're not going to have start NPCs or end NPCs for this one. So we're going to have a title that's going to tell them that they started the quest. And we're going to use the quest placeholders in order to tell them the specific quest that they've started. So let me just change that here. So we're going to use the quest identifier. Once again, all of these placeholders and all this documentation can be found on our website, link in the description below. We're also going to specify progress actions, and we're going to show them an action bar with their current progress in the quest. This will just allow your players to be able to see how much they've completed of it. So we're just going to go quest progress as the placeholder, and then we're going to make it out of the quest total. All right, so as you can see, we have start action and we have a progress action. We're also going to specify cancel action. So we're going to specify title saying try again. So this will basically just show them a title if they cancel it or if they run out of time. And then for the complete action, this is where we'll actually tell them that they've completed the quest, and we're also going to give them an item. So we're going to specify give item, and we're going to make it equal to 64 diamonds. And then we're also going to have a title saying that they completed the quest. And what we're going to do is we're actually put the quest identifier in a separate line as a subtitle, just so that they can, just so it's more visually appealing here. So as you can see, we have our complete actions, our cancel actions, our progress actions, and our start actions. For the complete actions, I could have specified these on separate action lines, but that's up to you. Actions are highly customizable, so I recommend you read the documentation page on that. Finally, we're going to move on to the last page here. This page is going to be the quest-specific toggles and features which you can set. So this is specific for the break quest. So we have a total, allowed materials, required materials, and then a decrement silk touch toggle. So basically, each quest will have its own required fields. In this case, you need to have a total to be able to save a quest. So let's set the total to 5 here. So it'll require 5 blocks to be broken. So once you've specified all the required fields in a quest, this save creation button will show up at the bottom of the menu. And once you click on, you'll have a few options. So let me just go over these first though. So we have the allowed materials, which is basically just if you want to specify materials which are required towards the quest, then you can, or required materials, which are specific amounts of each material that must be broken. And then decrement silk touch, basically, if you're using a silk touch pick, it would take away from the total rather than add to it. So we're just going to save this here. So when you click save for quest, you'll be presented with a menu with 4 options. Save, which just saves the quest file. Override, which saves the file and then also loads it into memory so that it'll be able to be used right away. And then override all. So if you're editing an existing quest and you want to override the existing settings, if anyone has it active, you would select this option. In our case, we're just going to click to save and also load the updated quest. So as you can see, we'll get the message saying that we have successfully created the break quest. All right, so now that we have the quest created, we're going to edit the existing menu and we're going to add a quest item for the menu. So when you enter quest menu edit and then the identifier, you'll be presented with the menu creator. So as you can see, there's a few options here, such as menu name, size, slots, the open actions are executed when it's opened, close actions that are executed when it's closed, editable, similar to the quest creator, it's whether or not other people can edit this quest, or this menu, sorry. And then also disabled, it's whether or not players can use the menu. So we're just going to change the menu name quick here. We're going to change it just to menu, just so you can see in action. So it updates it here. And then also we'll change the size. We'll make it 36. Even though it won't look proper, we'll still do it anyways. So next we're going to click on the menu slots here to edit the actual items that are in the slot. So as you can see, our new row here has a bunch of empty slots because the existing items are no longer there. So what we're going to do here, actually, we're going to remove all of these border items. So if you shift click on an item, it'll remove it from the menu. So as you can see, it's slowly, by me clicking on each of them, it's removing it from the menu. So we're going to leave the 3 that were already there, though, in these slots, just so I can add the new existing quest item to it. So now that we have all the items removed, I'll click into an existing item just to show you what the editor looks like. So for every quest item, there's 5 different states. We have an unavailable state, which is shown if the player can't start the quest yet. There's an available state, which means the player can start the quest. There's an active state, which is if the player has already started the quest. This is the item that will be shown. A completed state, where this item will be shown if the player has already finished the quest. And then a waiting item. This is only shown if the player has finished the quest and there's a repeat delay and it's repeatable. So if it's repeatable, this will allow you to show like an extra option that'll basically say it's repeatable in X amount of time, which is fairly useful. So basically, just looking over the items here, these are just the defaults that are provided. This menu is completely configurable. So if you want to change them in game, all you have to do is just drag the items into whichever slots you want. So although it may not make sense the order and place them in now, I can still do so. So this will be the new updated format when it's shown in the menu. So to exit and to go back to the main page, all you have to do is just exit the inventory using E or escape, and it'll bring you back to the main menu creator with all the slots. All right, so we're just going to add the item here for our new quest. So it's going to prompt you to enter the quest identifier. So we're going to use the creator tab complete to quickly show us the available identifiers of our existing quests. So we're just going to select the break here. And what it'll do is it'll add an item here. And if we click into it, we can see that it pre-populates it with some basic quest items and this waiting one here with the quest repeat delay. So we're just going to leave it as is, and we'll be able to see these in the menu. So we'll exit out and we'll go back to the main menu. So also in this menu, we're going to add a placeholder item. So we're just going to do it in the last slot here. So I'm just going to click here, and then using the creator tab complete, you can see that there's a placeholder item prefix. So if you want to add an item which will perform actions rather than be associated to a specific quest, you can do so. This will allow you to basically go between menus, or if you want to execute a command when it's clicked or a specific action, this will allow you to do that. So we're going to create one and just call it example. So it'll add it to the menu here. When you click on it, you can see there's only one available state. Placeholder items can only have one state as there's no quest linked to them, but they can still be edited like any other menu item. So for these placeholder items, the actions can only be assigned through the configuration. So I'll open up configuration now and show you how to change that here. All right, so now we'll just hop back to the main menu here. Now that we have all of our items set, we'll exit out. It'll bring us back to the main page here. And once again, we can just save the creation. All right, so as you can see here, we have our default menu configuration. You can see the updated values for the name and size. Then we scroll down to the bottom here, you'll be able to see our newly added item with all of its states, and then also you'd be able to see the updated state for the enchant item which we changed. Finally, down here we have our placeholder item. So we're just going to change the name to next page, I guess. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to add some actions. So these actions are going to be, we're going to have an open action and a close inventory action. So the close inventory, what it'll do is it'll close the inventory once clicked, and then we'll have a separate action for opening the next quest menu. So we'll do that using a console command, or sorry, not a console command. We'll use a player command here, which we will delay, and what it'll do is it'll run the quest menu default. So this will open the default menu on the player's behalf, and we'll add a delay of 2 seconds, just so you can see that the menu closes and then reopens. So this is how you would make, for an example, an item which brings you between menus in different quest menus. All right, so we're just going to get rid of the lore here, and once we've done that, we'll save the file, and then we'll reload it in our game. So unlike quests, the menus are not automatically loaded, and there is no additional screen. So if you want the menu to be loaded, you have to do quest reload in order to reload all of the quests and all of the menus, as it needs to look for any possible matches for similarly named quests with the same identifier. So when we go quest menu, so when we open the menu, we'll be able to see our updated items along with our new start quest item and additionally our next page. So we click the next page here, you'll see it closes the menu, and then after the delay, it's going to open the menu. So this is the power of actions, and this is how you would make it go between different quest menus if you had them. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start the quest. So as you can see, once we start the quest, we're going to get the message saying you started the quest. So if I break 2 blocks, I'm going to quickly execute the progress command with the break identifier, and you'll see I get an action bar with 2 out of 5 showing me my progress of the quest. And then after I break the existing ones, you'll see that we get the completed message, and also I've been awarded with 64 diamonds. So if we open back up the menu, we're able to see the fact that it should be waiting for the next repeat. So as you can see, we have our timer and it starts counting down. So the menu is updated every 5 seconds. Depends on your menu delay and your config, but that's the default. And as you can see, now that the delay is completed, we can start the quest. And if I cancel the quest, we'll be able to see the cancel actions. So we go quest cancel, and then with the identifier, you'll see the try again. So another way to cancel a quest, if you want, is to shift right click the item. So we're going to start the quest again. And if we open the menu again, if we shift right click, it'll cancel the quest for you. So additionally, you can use the command or you can use shift right click in the menu. All right, so that concludes our tutorial for today. I hope this helps some of you out. If you have any suggestions or any ideas for making more tutorials, please be sure to let me know. And also be sure to give this video a like if it helped you out.